Hey everyone, welcome back to the weekly Monday Motivation Podcast, No More Excuses. I am your host, Sandy Ballard, the super badass business coach. Yeah, that's trademark because I have an attorney right there. I'm pointing to her. It's Karen. I'll get to her in a second. This week, we are recording this. So if you're listening to this in your car, you can go to YouTube and watch it, or on Facebook, and it'll redirect you to YouTube to watch this. So I'm starting to have a podcast guest on video, I guess once a quarter. So Karen's the lucky first one this year. As I've been talking about, the first quarter is all about leveling up. And with that, I've discussed in the last few weeks about helping you check progress, just really getting invested in the results that you desire. So you'll work harder towards your goals, right? Envisioning the results and realizing that there really is no magic pill other than putting in the work. And last year's pandemic, as I like to say, has really helped and hurt a lot of businesses. And that's why I'm excited to have Karen on here. While others are really doing well, others are really hurting. And the thing is, if you have the proper connections and team in place, you can recover faster and easier. And last year, my podcast guests were really about mindset and marketing tips and not giving bullshit excuses when shit goes sideways and recovering during the pandemic. And now we want to switch gears and really take it to that next level, hence leveling up. So I'm excited to have Karen on here because with the first quarter, really preaching about leveling up and staying focused, I wanted to bring on an expert to discuss with you to make sure that all your hard work, all your energy that you've put into your business, whether it's a side gig going full blown, or whether you're still keeping it a side gig, or whether it's your full job, I want to make sure that things don't go out the window because you're trying to do it yourself. All right. Or maybe you have done it yourself, and we want to switch things over and have you really learn from an expert. So I want to welcome Karen Young. She's with Gutwein Law. Did I say it right?
Yes, Gutwein Law.
Gutwein Law. I met her on a live webinar for podcasting, and she works with businesses of all shapes and sizes. So no matter what size of business you are, listen up. And I'm going to switch views here so she can then be the speaker. Oh, and it's still me. Replace pin with Karen. There we are. There's you, fool, Karen.
Front center.
Yeah, I want you to explain a little bit because you work with established businesses, startups, and nonprofits, but also focus on women and minority-owned businesses. So
I do.
Yeah. So explain a little bit more about what you do, and especially the term social entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me on. You have a great podcast, Sandy. I'm so excited to be a guest on your podcast. And so I've been an attorney for 15 years, and I forget, and I tell people in my head, I'm younger than I really am. And so, yes, I've been an attorney for 15 years and have worked in corporate America in large corporations. And so I still work with large corporations that have, 1,500 employees or 500 employees or 5 employees or myself and I'm the one employee. And so I work with a lot of women-owned businesses or minority-owned businesses that someone who still has a day job and is working a side hustle or a business that they're doing at night, or just a passion project that they're starting on the side that may or may not ever become their full-time job, or something that I worked with one client who she started her own business. It became so overwhelming. She quit her full-time job. Her husband quit his full-time job, became her employee. They sold their house, they moved to Florida, and she's still doing that job, and they're moving on and growing. That's not everyone's destiny, but it was theirs. And so I tell folks I will absolutely work with someone who's opening a yoga studio or a hair salon or selling a product that they've created, or someone who's, starting a business with 3 or 4 partners, or is an established business that they've inherited from taking it over or buying it, or they're an accounting firm or a manufacturing facility with, several sites. So businesses and nonprofits of all shapes and sizes. A social entrepreneur is really the blend of a nonprofit, a nonprofit organization that has a charitable purpose that's feeding the homeless, educating children,
Okay.
Cleaning up waterways, and a for-profit that's designed to make money, and blending the two,
Interesting.
making money while doing good
Okay.
and really bringing them together. So I fully believe there's no way that this world is going to operate and do all the good that we're going to do without private enterprise
Right.
at the home and doing that. And so
Awesome.
a social entrepreneur is either, hiring hard to hire individuals, either maybe intellectually disabled individuals are their employee base, or formerly incarcerated people who have been out of incarceration are their employee base, or the business is solar power generation or clean water in third world countries. And they're a for-profit solving some issue in the world, but they're doing it in a for-profit model, not a nonprofit.
Well, I learned something today.
Socially.
Thank you. It was like, okay, somebody, because I hear a lot of terms and usually it's, I would say habitual entrepreneur, but
So serial entrepreneur.
Serial entrepreneur. Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is social, not serial. Okay.
Right.
Well,
social, not serial. Right. And so it's that blend of business with a purpose or business with a mission. You'll hear that often. Business, and it's that blend of nonprofit with a for-profit.
Nice. Yeah. Kind of like the Taboo Tribe. We're going to have to talk more about that.
You have a mission behind your business. And what I find so rewarding, I think you're going to ask me about it later. So maybe I'll save it.
Okay. I'll ask you now. So with all the listeners and the 97 countries that are listening, I know, isn't that crazy? I wish I knew them all personally, but I do ask them, and I'll ask them again to connect with me on social media and let me know if you're a listener so I can connect back with you. And because, it's kind of cool when I get an email or a direct message from someone in Ireland and Idaho. It's cool either way. So Karen, you're on here today to help my listeners not throw their work out the window, out the door. So what 3 tips? You said you had 3 tips to help them, why business attorneys should save them money. So,
yes.
Go for it. 3
things, like how business attorneys should save them money. And I'm here, I guess it's a self-interest, right? So I want you to call me, why I should save you money. So it's a win-win. I fear that people hear lawyer and think, as soon as I pick up the phone to call my lawyer, they're going to start billing time. And that's why people don't reach out to attorneys. And I think the smaller the business or the earlier on the business, they think, I can't afford an attorney. So what are they going to do, Sandy?
Do it themselves.
By doing what? What are they going to log on to?
The Google.
And who are they going to find there?
Probably somebody that's going to, legal.
The LegalZoom.
LegalZoom, legal whatever, or they're just going to download some form and
there's a good side to LegalZoom because I get a lot of clients from LegalZoom. LegalZoom clients become my clients because that's it messes my clients up and then they end up in my office because I have to fix and undo LegalZoom. So that's a DIY. LegalZoom, it gets them something, and I don't even know the fees that a business gets charged for doing it a LegalZoom way, but you're going to pay twice because you're going to pay a LegalZoom some fee less than probably a law firm fee, but you're going to pay the law firm fee later
to fix it. Yeah.
But in between, something has gone wrong. And you're going to have to get it redone. So,
and a lot of times it's taxes when they get to the tax, because you and I talked about that, right? It's because people get confused on, I'm a corporation or I'm an LLC, but I'm taxed as a S corp. That whole So,
are you going to have an accountant on as your next person?
Oh, I should.
You absolutely should.
Well, I can't have an accountant on right now because they're starting to lose their mind.
No, they won't talk to you after April 15th.
Yes.
So next quarter, have an accountant on.
So DIY is the first reason that they should
in contract review and negotiation. an attorney should save you money, looking out for your best interests. If an attorney knows you and knows your business well, I talked with my clients of looking out. I'm very versed in contract negotiation and drafting. I don't have to go into all of the reasons why. I teach a law school class on contract drafting and negotiation, looking out for your interests and trying to balance the leverage in the playing field.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have a contract, if your business receives a contract from a big player in your industry, I guarantee you an attorney reviewed it. So if it's for $10,000, pay an attorney $500 to get it right on and negotiate it back on your behalf, or $1,000, whatever, and then go forward, or pay an attorney $1,000 to create a template contract for you that you'll use 10 or 20 times. It's worth it for a couple of reasons. First, it protects your business and the rights and your terms and what you are wanting to protect, and payment terms, collection, the things that can go wrong. We're thinking of that on your behalf. Attorneys should be thinking of that on your behalf, but it also legitimizes your business. I can 100% tell you every contract that lands on my desk by reading it in the first 1 minute. I can tell you if an attorney looked at it or not, 100% of the time. And if you have a well put together contract, when you give that to your potential customer, if it's well put together, your reputation in the eyes of your customer just skyrocketed.
Okay.
That might land you that customer more quickly.
So instead of buying a package of contracts on the Google, off the Google, buy them from you.
The Google or the LegalZoom or the Rocket Lawyer.
Or the, yeah.
I tell a couple of my clients, I'm like, Mr. Rocket drafted that. Do not give me credit for that. That's from Mr. Rocket. I do not take responsibility for that.
Okay.
The next tip, can I move? Should I move on to the
move to
next
3.
tip?
Yes. Number 3.
The next one is either initially when you're getting started with your business can save you money or time, or when you're starting your nonprofit organization, or when you're either setting up a subsidiary, buying or selling a business. The organization setup, having it done right and well, and having all your documents in a row, even if you don't look at them for a while, having your binder of everything put together, again, legitimizes your business, has all your ducks in a row. When your banker, your accountant, the next person to come along after you comes looking, if it's all right there and done, the headaches it will save you later on and the corporate formalities you will have when you get to your insurance provider, the next thing to be done, it's all right there. I'm pleasantly surprised with how many of my clients, after 4 or 5 years, have built quite the little business. And it is a nest egg and it is taking off.
Awesome.
Don't work on it then.
No.
Don't make your kids go hunting for it when you want to go to Aruba and retire.
And they're trying to find out how to they're trying to find out how to file the business entity report or something like that. And they don't even know where it is.
We got that. I got a paralegal. I have a paralegal and a half at our firm. That's what they do full time for all of our business clients. Gutwein Law does all things business all the time. And especially if you have 1 or 2 or 3 LLCs going and keeping documents straight isn't your forte, it is ours.
Yeah. And if you call me and you're my client and you call me asking, I'll be like, do you have your paperwork, or call Karen?
Right. And I got it.
Yes.
That's my third.
Okay. So the 3 tips are: don't do it yourself. Don't try to do it yourself. Don't get on the Google and the
LegalZoom will save you money.
Yep. Karen will save you money.
For a few reasons. When you get started, either with straight from the start, or when you M&A, merger and acquisition, buy a new company, or sell a company. At those points, the last thing is staying organized.
Yep.
Keeping your contracts organized, keeping your business entities organized. If you use an attorney for that, here's the reason it will save you money. because it will keep the third parties' questions answered fast. And when your insurance broker, your banker, your accountant, your HR consultant can get a response answered quickly, that saves the business owner time. Time equals money. They know you have your stuff in order. They don't ask you questions. If they don't ask you questions, they know you've got your stuff together. They don't worry about you. They lend you money. They return your taxes to you. They don't ask the next question. Stuff moves faster. You get stuff done. You're happier. You're less stressed. Your business moves more smoothly. Lawyers can keep things organized, keep your stuff in order.
And should save you money.
I promise it works.
Yeah.
It should save you money.
And again, this does not matter if you're a solo entrepreneur, a sole P like me, sole prop, sole proprietor, wherever you are in the world, whatever you call it, up to
unless you have one customer.
Right. Okay.
If you have one customer and all you do is go like this back and forth all day, fine.
Yeah.
And they pay you on time and you never have any problems and you never hire anyone else.
Well, and I
That's
know
all you intend to do?
I do know I have some listeners that are like beach body coaches and they are, part of that, and that's fine, but they also and you know who you are listening, she binges me on Fridays, so she binge listens to me, but that's the thing, is like there are still things that she may or may not be doing, or that any of you who are part of a direct marketing, direct sales, whatever you want to call it, it's your side gig, making sure that you talk with a lawyer about things you can and can't do. I'm sure the franchise owners, the beach bodies, the Arbonnes, the whatever, give you parameters, but sometimes we take our own, I guess, a little liberties in some things. So yes, calling an attorney to get set up properly, contracts written properly, especially when you're leveling up, because like you said earlier, when you get a big contract, maybe this is your big deal. This is going to get you to that next level. And all of a sudden you're trying to read this contract or this offer yourself. I've bought and sold many homes. I've never tried to read that myself. Right. I have a realtor. Yes. So.
And someone who's used to it, I can pick out and say, wait, this is not standard. Do you know what they're asking you? Or this I see all the time, you shouldn't worry about it.
Right.
I can do that very easily. Awesome. And do that a lot with my clients. This you shouldn't worry about. This is unusual. This we should push back on. That's how it goes. That's how I work with my clients.
And
10-page contracts, 20-page contracts, 5-page contracts.
Right. Oh, and you have a podcast for.
We do.
Yeah.
It's not as seasoned as yours. We just started last year, where I have issued about 5 episodes.
Okay, but you're getting there. You start somewhere, episodes. Right?
Yeah. Starting small. I've recorded 3.
Okay.
2 have been published. We're going to put up, by the time this comes out, maybe my 3rd will have been out. So I'm interviewing some clients, talking about some work I did last year on all the COVID research.
Okay, so listeners, you can hear her talk live in action. Well, I guess recorded in action with her.
Recorded in action. The Goot Wine Law Podcast. Very original title. The Goot Wine Law Podcast.
And spelled Gutwein.
Correct.
Law. So those of you in Germany or in that area, you know how to say that. So, and as I always end my podcast, I always say, this week I want to know. I want you to share. I mean, some stories can be horror stories. Some can be funny about maybe you or things you've heard about somebody that did it themselves, or maybe a success story on how you got help from an attorney that saved your ass. And any other questions you might have for Karen, how can they get a hold of you?
Oh, absolutely. You can find me on LinkedIn. That's an easy way. Anyone can find me on LinkedIn, Karen Young. My middle initial is H. And my email is Karen, Karen.Young, Young, at gutweinlaw.com, Gutwein law.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on here and for ending the first quarter with some badass tips on how to help everyone save money and not lose all the hard work that they've been they've been doing. They've been working for. Hopefully they've been working, because the whole concept is no more excuses and getting off your ass and doing the work. So, all right. Well, thank you, Karen. And I look forward to seeing you in person really soon. I know,
Yes.
kind of freaky, right?
Yes. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Bye.